It's 6 o'clock in the morning and we're just leaving our campground. We were over here and Susan was right there. And we're heading to Harper's Ferry. It's about 4 miles. Well, we're coming up to one of the highways, but I don't think this one's as busy as our last one. We have to go across there.
A little slippery here, huh?
Okay.
Combination of slippery stuff.
Oh, looks like it's seeping right there. Going down slowly. Well, we're coming out of the park and into the town of Harper's Ferry. You can hear the highway off. You see it through the trees. And then there's the Shenandoah River down there. And now we've got to climb down. It looks like some switchbacks all the way down to the bottom there.
Shenandoah River. It's a pretty broad river.
Coming up on the bridge to go across the Shenandoah River, and I think we've hit the morning commute. Very noisy. Kind of weird being walking in the forest next to it and then hearing all this car noise. And here comes my hiking partners. Shenandoah River. Climb up to the highway. There's the river. Now it's our road walk. Up we go. I think these are the last set of stairs she may be climbing on the AT. It's nice and quiet here this morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's the first female dormitory. It's called, I think it's Eastman Cook Hall. That's the Harper Ferry Center over there. And then this is some training center. I'm not sure who is getting trained. Trail Conservancy Visitor Center. Oops, the sun's right in our way. There's their sign. I think I'm going to get the sun as soon as I turn this corner. This is pretty much considered the halfway mark. And a lot of hikers come here to sign the book and have a picture taken. But they are closed, it looks like. We're pretty early.
Just down from the cemetery on the way to Harper's Ferry, come across this spot. I think it's marked in guidebooks as a view. Don't know anything about this. Strikes me as somebody's artwork, I guess. Since you got rocks held up by those logs. But you do get a pretty view of the bluffs over on the Virginia side. Which of course is where the cannons apparently were mounted back in the day. If I remember right, it was something like Luray Hills Escarpment, something like that. Beautiful. Guess you can pause this to read it. Apparently Thomas Jefferson visited here. So that red sandstone up on supports was Jefferson's Rock. Who knew? There's another little sign over here. Just noticed. It says 20 years before Lewis came to town, his mentor Thomas Jefferson wrote about the views from this rock. Jefferson's comments on the landscape were published in Notes on the State of Virginia. That book provided a model for Lewis as he recorded his observations of the West. As Lewis gathered supplies here, did he follow in the footsteps of his mentor and take in his view? Very cool. On that last small sign, there was a little bit of a map that I don't think is going to be visible. It's barely visible to the eye. And it showed some other buildings. This building just came down. I'm still on the AT going down towards Harper Ferry. Thought that was probably going to be the best view from this direction. I don't know if I get to walk in it yet. I do see that there's a sign here. But never knowing what's ahead and not really wanting to walk back. Thought I'd take a picture while I could. Somebody did work on this thing. Let's see what it is. St. John's Episcopal Church. All that remains of St. John's Episcopal, one of Harper's Ferry's 5 earliest churches, built in 1852 with money provided by church fare. St. John served as a hospital and barracks during the Civil War and suffered considerable damage. It was rebuilt afterwards, but was abandoned in 1895 when a new Episcopal church was built in the upper town. And then you probably can't see it in there, but it shows on the upper left after the Civil War. I guess there was a tower sitting here too. And then the longer one on the bottom shows seen from the Maryland shore around 1888. St. John sits on the ascending ridge on the right. So about right there. Just down from that St. John's Episcopal. Got this little beauty. Kind of a famous picture. I've seen many people walk this. Didn't recognize that I was getting here. In fact, I'd forgotten that it was here. This looks almost European. Church sunk down into the ground. It's got this attached church that's probably equally Hall, called Thomas Hall. Sorry for the bumps, but hard to do stairs any other way. Beautiful church. Maybe there's a plaque to say something about it somewhere. But for now, wonder if it's built in the cruciform shape of a lot of the traditional churches in the Middle Ages. Property on the National Register of Historic Places. Erected 1830, rebuilt October 1896. Still don't know what it is. St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church. Construction of the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal and the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad produced an influx of Irish laborers into the Harpers Ferry area in the 1830s. St. Peter's Catholic Church, completed in 1833, symbolizes America's melting pot traditions and the customs, habits, and religions of early Irish immigrants. During the Civil War, to protect the church from Union and Confederate shells, Father Costello flew the British Union Jack flag as a symbol of the church neutrality. St. Peter's escaped the war relatively unscathed. It was remodeled to its present appearance in 1896. Mass is offered here every Sunday. Shows a picture of it in 1865. My shadow's in the way. Sun's in a horrible spot. Picture that I can barely see on here. I don't think you'll see it on the video. Looking north from Loudon Heights, circa 1894. Currently the Harper House, mansion on the hill. From this vantage point, early residents watched Harper's Ferry grow, a tiny village to a thriving industrial community. 1775, town founder Robert Harper chose this hillside for his home. Home was completed in 1782. Unfortunately, died that same year and never lived here. Harper had no children, left his property to his niece, Sarah Harper Wagner. September 6, 1832, Sarah's granddaughter, Sarah Ann, married Noah H. Swain in this house, referred to as the mansion. This home was owned by the Swain family for 89 years. The Harper House is the oldest surviving structure in Harpers Ferry and has undergone many transformations from tavern, residence, rental property, abandoned ruin to restored exhibit. Noah Swain on January 21st, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln nominated Noah Swain as his first appointee to the Supreme Court of the United States. Swain served on the court for 19 years. He worked to improve the status of African Americans, fought to ratify the 15th Amendment, which guaranteed voting rights to all citizens. And over here it says, again, very hard to see, Harper House was near the end of a 20-year run as the only tavern in Harpers Ferry when Lewis arrived. Thomas Jefferson may have been among the first guests to stay here in 1783. If Lewis rented a room in 1803, he was among the last travelers to seek shelter here. And this is the little beauty. Rock and stucco face. The thickness of that wall. And what a view. do worse than live here. View of the river over there, I'm sure from the upper floors is gorgeous, especially before all the bridges. And that is as best I can get of the other side of the Swain House or Williamson's Tavern. Before descending down into the cities of Harper Ferry.
This is called the Riley House. It was built in 1826. Looks like they put in a new garage or apartment over there. Nice garden. A lot of terracing going on because we're on a hill. And here's some more historic homes going on down. And there's Susan taking a video of me, taking a video of her. There's a confectionery here. Ooh, they got, looks like pies in the window. We'll have to just, oh, this is it's fake. All right, okay, it fooled me. It used to be, it's a historical site. So that's cool. Look at that. Here I was getting all excited thinking it was a shop that was in service right now, but no. 1856. Oh, this was in business from 1845 to 1861. Oh, disappointing. There's a big church up there on the hill. And here looks like a Whitehall Tavern. There's some cool history around here. Just some neat buildings. I recommend popping over here for the day if you can. Looks like parking is very limited. So with the train station pretty much right there, I would actually take a train here and then stay at a bed and breakfast and tour around.
I'm gonna get lost on this town. I'm supposed to meet up with Jane, Susan. Instead I keep looking at all these things. But this is a root cellar. Not much I think you can see in here. Gotta love the invention of refrigeration.